You got Pina Colada Paul over there.
You know what's nice here? They have a. I just got the name of it. What's that martini thing? The lychee martinis.
Mm.
Lychee is like a little white fruit. It's not very common in the United States, I don't think, but it's good.
Suddenly, Paul Thurrott's cultured. You Northerners don't have this, as he's.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it's like up in the frozen north, but oh boy.
Oh wow! So what? So you're back in where in Mexico are you again?
So right now I'm in Mexico. Well, I'll be in Mexico City for the duration. We stayed in the Hilton for 2 nights, just to make it easy for
Mm-hmm.
mostly for Windows Weekly yesterday, because we're going to an Airbnb in the neighborhood. We hope to buy a place then,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more of an unknown quantity, and I knew this would be good for the Wi-Fi and everything, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. So after we do this show, we'll head over there.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyways, there's a Mac event. Isn't it next week? It's Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
The 8th?
Yep.
They're going to announce a bunch of M2s, not BMWs, SEs, but not Windows 98, and a bunch of other things. So
what do you think about the tagline for this event? Peak
yeah, they kind of.
performance misspelled on purpose.
Yeah,
So it's a peak. Like
I don't know.
maybe it's a peek into the future of performance because this is literally M2.
Maybe. They also had a lot of like I don't know if it was you had to use your phone to use it or it was the actual info, but it was like a almost like holographic sort of Apple thing if you used your phone. So of course people are reading way into that, saying, "Hey, it's coming." So
It could be a peek at that future.
It could be a peek of that future. It could be. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, it looks like. I think everybody kind of. Well, let me qualify that. I am curious to see the performance characteristics of the M2 and how Apple is going to evolve their chips. Because we've had what is they called? The M1 Max and M1 Pro. And we can kind of see that differentiator. We don't have any idea how Apple plans to rev the chips from, say, an M1 to an M2 to M3. And so this will be the first time we kind of see, like, are they going to go all out with cores? Are they going to, what's the difference?
Plus, what does this even mean? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when you have Pro and Max chips now for your kind of almost workstation class computers, the MacBook Pros,
Mm-hmm.
but now you come out with an M2, which sounds like it's better, newer, whatever. What does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that thing shows up in an iMac, let's say, or in a new Mac Mini.
Mm-hmm.
So is that better? I mean, it's not. We think it isn't, right? I mean, the Pro and Max chipsets would be more cores, more performance, etc. But it creates a weird branding issue.
It does.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, peak performance will get, I guess, a peak. I don't know. I mean, whatever. Clearly. Who knows? Who knows? We'll find out on the 8th to see how Apple wants to take more money. I don't think there's anything on there that...
I'm going to miss this event. That's the day we fly home.
Of course. I could have predicted that, actually.
I know. I appreciate every tech company on Earth scheduling their events when I fly.
Yeah. Microsoft... So... I got more information about this than probably anybody else probably cares or realizes. So Microsoft has actually made a pretty significant change to their taskbar. You'll see how I know this. I might be slightly wrong here, but so I think from 98 all the way up to Windows 11 minus 2 builds, Microsoft painted the taskbar the exact same way all the time.
Okay.
Never changed it. Suddenly now, the start
Do you know
button,
what that means? Like, what does that mean? Like, can you just
how they draw the taskbar on the actual drawing of the taskbar on your screen?
Yeah, no, I understand that. But do you know what that means? Like, was it like you mean like a WM paint? Like,
I don't know exactly those details, but let me keep going.
Yeah.
So, with these last two versions of Windows, the start button and the weather widget now, and the system tray are being drawn, I believe, in a XAML framework of some sort. I know this because it breaks some of the stuff that we do, and so we've had to really kind of work around this, and it creates some minor issues. It's nothing, whatever. But this is the reason why I bring this up. This is the first time we've seen this change like ever.
And you're talking about the dev channel build.
Yes, the dev channel build. But
Yeah.
the way it's done and implemented, this I'm almost certain will make its way out to the retail build whenever they ship this update.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Do you have any speculation as to why they made this change?
Well, I speculate that they did it because that's the only way they could get the weather onto the taskbar. Because remember, we know that the taskbar was a pretty significant rewrite for Windows 10X. That's why the context menu wasn't there. That's why whatever. This change when they did it on Windows 10 did not impact any of our products. It's only on Windows 11, and so it's pretty significant. I mean, if you care about the nuts and bolts of like how Windows operates, and so we've got to figure out a way if we can what we can do. Meaning Stardock with the customization aspect of it now, knowing what we now know. So.
Oh, don't worry, Brad. It's Microsoft. They're going to release full developer documentation. They'll do that early to make sure, third parties are on board. You have nothing to worry about.
Yep, exactly.
I will say, build is coming up, and maybe that's the time frame for that.
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
It says speculatively and hopefully.
It would be beautiful if they would document that so we could play around with it and do, effectively what Stardock does. But yeah, so there's a little, it's not even inside baseball. It's just, we were like, oh God, this is not good. Created a bit of chaos.
Well, it's going to impact a lot of companies.
Oh yeah. I mean, anybody who does taskbar related things can be impacted by this. So, or system tray I don't know. System tray may be a little different, but
they'll have to document this. Kidding aside, I mean, they can't ship this in V2. I mean, without explaining what they're doing. I mean, they can't.
They're Microsoft. Right? They could. I mean, they ship 2 versions of Teams with Windows that you can't tell the difference. So what?
Yeah. Okay.
Who knows? Those are sort of like the bigger things going on right now. Oh. So you probably haven't seen this, but there's a magazine in Japan. Whatever. I'm not even going to pronounce to butcher this thing. So they were doing a write-up of 20 years of Xbox in Japan, which, as we can all agree, has just gone swimmingly. Like they're killing it. No,
Dude, and just in case anyone misinterprets what Brad just said, hasn't been hugely successful in Japan.
Yeah, I mean,
mostly because the first Xbox was the size of a typical Japanese apartment.
Yep.
Anyway, they have issues.
So
Microsoft does creating small things.
In this report, they actually have specific unit sales numbers. Now, they don't exactly explain where they got to, but I mean, it's not rounding, like it's down to the single digits. So at a high level here, the original Xbox sold 474,000 units. The Xbox 360 sold 1.6 million units. Paul, if you had to guess how many...
Well, so I just to put what you said in perspective, when you said the number for the first one, I thought, well, the next one's going to be much higher because the Xbox 360 was a more elegant looking device, smaller. The Xbox One is humongous, is bigger than the first Xbox. No, I mean size-wise.
Oh,
it probably did horribly. So I'm going to guess some down to those levels. Is it even worse somehow?
Wait, what number you cut out very briefly? What's the...
Sorry, I was going to guess it was going to be similar to the number for the first Xbox.
Worse.
It's worse.
I
mean, you understand this is a rounding error at this point. Like those
Paul, according to these numbers, it's about 10% of Xbox 360, 114,000 units of Xbox One.
Okay, I mean they didn't sell any.
They sold,
like that's.
Now they also have figures for the Xbox Series S and X, which they put at 142,000. So it's already sold more than the Xbox One, but that's not really.
The Xbox One S in particular would be a great size and shape and whatever form factor for the Japanese market.
Yep. But the Series X and S they're whatever. So it's just they had a 20-year write-up and they had these numbers, and I thought, I was like, wow, like we always knew it was kind of
that market is so different, and it's not just it's not just like form factor. I mean, it's just a different market. The games are completely different in Japan. It's a very unique place. I mean, Sony being from Japan has a stranglehold, I would imagine, because they understand that market because they're there, and they probably make games that are very specifically designed for that market. And there are fans from around the world who have gotten into Japanese games over time, and you see more and more of them coming international as a result. But yeah, you can't just show up from the outside and, well,
Yeah.
they've proven that. I mean, you just can't.
You cannot. Also, things that people are not going to care about either. Amazon Luna. If you have no idea what I just vomited into the microphone, don't worry. But it's now generally available, at least in the U.S. So
Luna's actually pretty good.
Oh, I have no doubt that the service is fine, but
yeah,
it's going to.
No, you're right. Nobody knows. Yeah, no, nobody knows. It is low cost. I strongly recommend if you're going to try it out, you should get a Luna controller. It works best with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it is. I think the service itself is only $6 a month for non-Prime members. I think it's not expensive. I mean, it's worth. If you're kind of curious about how this works or if it works. Cloud gaming, cloud streaming. It's not a bad thing to try. A lot of people are Prime members, obviously, so it makes it a little easier on that note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of it. And for people who also care, there's a new Call of Duty Warzone update out today that patches a bunch of tragedies.
Makes it slightly less crappy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still not fixed, but it's less bad. It's so. Anyways, it's Thursday. I'm confused mentally because usually when I go to the office, whatever, doesn't matter. Tomorrow will be Friday, and we should be back unless.
Plus, we forgot to tell anyone we weren't doing the show Monday through Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, just get out your time machine.
So, by the way, we decided not to do the show Monday.
Yeah, I was traveling to the office, so anyways, we'll be back tomorrow.